We'll kick off with a mustard C53 size 12. This is one of my keel Mayfly nymphs. So we'll just have a bit of tying thread on here. We go all the way back to about the hook point. It's about there. Just get rid of that. Then what we need is some regular pheasant tail fibres, and we want to tie these in as the tails. We just go on top of the hook shank there, go down into the bend, just keep those in place so they're positioned correctly. Maybe a couple of turns more. There we are, that's good. Now I'll go back up here and we can tie this down, these few pheasant tail fibres down, just the correct length of the abdomen so we can get our proportions right. There we go, that'll do it. We can trim that off. And what we need is a piece of fine copper wire. This we can just tack in like so, all the way down to the tail base, because we want to start the rib right at the base of the tail, like that. Now what I want is a few little strip of golden pheasant tail fibres, so we'll just tie these in, base of the tail again, just go up, tie down the points, then we just build up a bit of tying thread to give a bit of a taper on the body, not too much but we want a little bit of a taper here. So we'll just build this up with tying thread. That'll do us, I think. Go back to the end of the abdomen. Now try and get all these fibres parallel as we wrap them. It'll give you a nicer body effect. All the way up to there, and then we can tie these off. Like so. Trim off those. Then what we want to do is we want to wrap our rib and then we can just go a little tighter with a few wraps here to give a little extra weight under the thorax, like so. Tie this off, just remove that with friction like that. Go back into the abdomen. I need to turn it this way now, back into the abdomen. Now what we want is a strip of golden pheasant tail, centre tail. We fold this in half, like that, and we want to tie this in firstly. I'll bring that thread forward a little, like so. This is the best way to get it central, so we put that on there first. I'll just tie this back. To the abdomen. Like so. And what we do is we fold everything back like that and we tie it all down. It's going to be the wing case. back. Again, tight into the abdomen. And just see that that wing case is going to work. Yeah, that'll work really nicely. Good. Out there. Just tighten the tension on that vise. Now what I want is a piece of mono. You can use, if you've got braid, you can use braid as well, very, very fine braid. So we'll just tie this in underneath here, like this, and when we get to about there, we need to fold that end over and tie that down just so it doesn't start slipping out. There we are. Go back into the, tight into the wing case like that. This has to be central, this mono, so make sure it's central on the underside of the nymph body. That's good. Then what we have to do here is make a dubbing loop. Make sure that the two ends of the dubbing loop are connected like that. Just hang that out of the way for a second. Dubbing spinner. Need a bit of wax on the tying thread. I'm putting some hairs here in here. So take your dubbing loop, a little bit of hairs here, a little bit more, and a little bit more. That'll do us fine. Good. So we'll spin that up. Want this nice and tight so we get a real spiky thorax. There we are. Now there's a little bit too much fluff in there, so I'll just pull out what I don't need. Now this ought to be thinner up here and getting thicker as we get to the front. So just pull out what you don't need. There we are. Now that's looking good. So what I can do now is start wrapping this very carefully. Like so. Moving forward as I go, and we stop there. Now we take our mono. I hope you can see this. I'll try and do this so it works on camera for you. We take these tiny beads and we thread them onto the mono one at a time. I think 4 is enough. Oh, bugger, sorry. They're not easy to handle, these tiny beads. There we are. There's the 4 beads on. As you can see there, I hope. Now what I do is we just keep this out of the way, and I'll continue winding my thorax to there. Then I'll just hang those beads out the way. I need to just tie off my dubbing loop. Like so. Then I can trim off the dubbing loop. I want to pull everything back so I get a nice neat head. There we are. That's looking good. Then what I do is I turn this around. I can actually get a little bit neater there. Go a little bit further back to that. You have to be careful you don't lose the end of your mono here, because it will mess things up if you do. So a couple of loose turns first, and then you can tighten that up. You don't want it too tight. And then we can fold that over. Like so. Give it one whip finish, just to keep everything in position, then we can remove the mono. We turn this back over and we want all the golden pheasant tail fibres to make the wing case. Now try and get these parallel, it makes for a much nicer wing case if you do get them parallel. So we'll just hold that in position like that. Take this up. Sorry, threads out of whack there. Yeah. There we are. Push that a little bit up. That's good. We want to leave a little head like that. And then just make a whip finish. Tighten your thread up. And one more. And remove your tying thread. Then if you can find your dubbing needle, which is there, you can just pull this out a little bit. There's one that's too long there. Our tail was out, correct. So you can see the correct attitude of it. A couple of white hairs there. Must have come off the hairs here. There we are, and that's it. That's the lovely keel nymph, and it fishes beautifully, and when it's actually in the water it fishes like that. Looks very nice indeed. So please give it a go. Thanks for watching.